Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Fantasy Cup. I usually do like those top team videos before the cup drops this time around because PvP was only released basically with the new update when the new season dropped. We're one day a little bit too late, so if you're interested in this cup, this might be the video for you. And if you don't really like to play Great League right now because the current meta is pretty stale, this might also be the video for you here. We're going to have the Fantasy Cup available here, the cup with XL Registeel on top of everything else. This Pokemon is going to be insanely strong. There are some counters for it, for example Lucario, which is actually not as good as a counter here than it shows here. It's kinda misleading, but Flygon is a counter, Solgaleo is a counter, Dragonite is kinda a counter as well, and Escavalier is a counter, but all of those Pokemon also don't really want to get hit by the charge moves. Actually, here you're running Flash Cannon instead of the Zap Cannon in this meta, but I wouldn't really recommend you to get rid of your Zap Cannon version if you have one, because Zap Cannon is a legacy move and the difference is not that huge. Here we're going to see as well Tapu Fini going to be one of the best one, and Giratina is the next one, so we have 3 legendaries on top there. Flygon is a good anti-meta pick here, as you're going to be able to hit those steel types as well as those dragon types, and fairy types also don't really like too much damage from the earth power, especially the Galarian Weezing, which is an amazing save swap in this meta, but also part of weak to ground type moves. Genesect here is a little bit higher than it's supposed to be in terms of the rating. It's still a very good Pokemon to use, but because of the Fury Cutter, which generates energy fast, Magnet Bomb, which is a good bait move, and Technoblast, which is a good nuke move, you usually have a lot of better cogs than you actually have in game later on. Still a very cool Pokemon to use. Going to lose hard against something like Giratina Altered, but still otherwise pretty fine. This is basically the main meta already. There's not a lot that coming after this. You see already the ranking on the right side goes pretty low already at like 83 here. So the difference between the top Pokemon and those Pokemon is pretty high, but still Excadrill, Dragonite, Magnezone, Escavalier, Lucario, all of those Pokemon are viable for this meta. Let's go into the teams. First team here going to be Tapu Fini Double Fighter. This is more like an anti-meta team, but you're going to see not a lot of options here aside to the team. They usually have like several different options for each position for most of my teams, but this time around there won't be a lot of them that are really similar to the Pokemon here. For example, I could still say yes, you can use Registeel instead of basically any of the other 2 Pokemon in the back there. But the thing is, here Registeel is something that not a lot of people have, and Registeel is basically something that you put in any position and it's still going to work because it's so overpowered in this cup. Here we try to counter Registeel with the back line, having to counter users in their back, which is going to be very nice. Also Lucario, you say swap here, which will allow you to go ahead and hopefully bait out the potential Giratina, and you still have Shadow Ball to hit him hard, so that's the main idea here. Also interesting to know, you're going to run Acid Spray on the Escavalier here. There's no real reason to run anything else. Just a side note here, let's go to the next one. Next up, going to be the best meta tryhard team that you can run here. We're going to have the Registeel in the lead, the XL version there. We're going to have the Giratina, either the spicier version, which is floating, or the not as spicy version, which is standing on 6 legs here. Or you're going to have then the Tapu Fini there in the back as well, which is going to be able to beat potential counter users. So basically you have a Pokemon weak to counter in the lead, you're going to have 2 answers for counter users in the back, and you're going to also have answers for Excadrill, which can be a meta threat for this team, or for the lead at least, in the back there with the Tapu Fini. So yeah, this is the best core. Tapu Fini, Registeel is the best core in this meta. There's not really a lot about this, it's just the best one that you can run right now. The next team here going to be around Flygon, preferably the Shadow variant. Here we're going to have the say swap of the Galarian Weezing, trying to bait out also potential ground type Pokemon, as you have the Registeel in the back again here. You need some answer in the back that can counter Tapu Fini. That's why you have a poison type say swap here, basically, even though it doesn't have poison type charge moves, but still going to be able to win, I think, against Tapu Fini. And you're going to have the Registeel in the back, which also have a great matchup against the Tapu Fini. There you could use something like a Magnezone as well in the back, maybe, that would also work pretty well, but Registeel is just way better, not gonna lie. So this is going to be one of the better meta teams as well here, again with Flygon in the lead, which might be a little bit more spicy. Especially the Shadow version you should use here because it does a little bit more damage and is a little bit better in a lot of matchups. This next team here going to be around the Genesect with the fire version of the Genesect you kind of want to have here. The Flame Drive version, I think it's called, I don't know. But yeah, the fire version of this Pokemon, because Technoblast is a fire one, does do a lot of damage against this current meta. There are a lot of fairy types that you're also going to be able to beat with Magnet Bomb, which is going to be a stab move. but the fire coverage gives you like coverage, of course, against something like Escavalier here, which is going to be very nice, especially because this team going to be very good against this Pokemon already. You have the lead of Tapu Fini going to be able to destroy, hopefully, as well, those Dragon-type Pokemon like the Giratina. We have the Giratina as a Sazop here to also bait out something like a Dragonite, and then we're going to have the back there with the Genesect there, hopefully being able to sweep, especially with that super high damage charge move there of the Technoblast. For the next team, you're going to have another Steel type in the lead here. Definitely Registeel will be better here because you're going to have a better matchup against Tapu Fini, or you can also use the Excadrill, which is going to be a little bit struggling against Tapu Fini. You could also most likely use the Escavalier here, but whatever you want to do. And then we have a Sazop here of either the Weezing or the Slurpuff, both XL. Those Pokemon have good coverage because both of them have fire coverage. Slurpuff has Flamethrower, which you really want, and the Weezing has Overheat, which you really want, as you're going to try to basically get the way out of there for the Florges in the back. If you don't have a Florges built for the Ultra League, you can also run something like Tapu Fini again, but yeah, that's basically it for this team. Let's go into the next one. Pretty similar pattern to other teams as well. We're going to have the Solgaleo in the lead here, going to have access to the moves Fire Spin, the Psychic Fangs as well, and Iron Head or Flamethrower. Flamethrower also has a lot of play. You could even be a little bit spicy and go for the Solar Beam, as this move might be able to one-shot for you one Tapu Fini. We're going to have the Sazop here of the Galarian Weezing, again having access to Fire-type coverage as well, going to allow you to have some play against some Steel types, while you're going to have in the back the Tapu Fini waiting to clean up the game. Let's go into the next team. The next team is going to focus around Magnezone, which is a cool breakout for this meta right now, as you're going to be able to beat something like Tapu Fini pretty easily with this Pokemon, as well as also having pretty decent play against something like the Registeel actually, because you're going to hit them pretty hard. Really depends on the shield scenario and if you maybe were able to farm down something with some energy. So this is definitely a cool Pokemon, especially in the Shadow variant if you have one. Then we're going to have here again the Sazop of the Galarian Weezing, one of the best Sazops for this meta, especially for this team here. You can also have Registeel here in the back again, but here Weezing will be able to bait out potential ground types like an Excadrill, still having access to a move that would hit them hard, and you have the best answer for an Excadrill in the lead with your Tapu Fini. So that's going to be it for this team. Let's go on to the next one. And yes, those teams are all pretty similar, but I cannot really do anything about this. Say that to Niantic, at least maybe we have this cup gone already in the beginning, which might be nice. I actually think it's still a fun cup to play, but it's not really the most creative one, as you can see with this team as well. We're going to have the Escavalier in the lead, which is going to have access to the move Acid Ray. And that's going to be an interesting one in general, because if you face a lead that you are good against and the opponent is forced to swap out, you will be able to go for the Acid Spray and then swap out yourself and hopefully have a better matchup afterwards, because the opponent has a double debuff in their defenses. So yeah, this is basically how this team works. Should be a pretty decent team there as well. Sazop again, either the Weezing or the Slurpuff. I think I had it in a team before as well. Accidentally the Weezing in instead of the Slurpuff, but you can just use both at the same time basically. Doesn't really matter, like those have basically the exact same role, so like I'm not going to correct that anymore. Second to last team, you're going to be one with a Dragonite in the lead. That's going to be a cheaper one here without any XL Pokemon needed for this one, and it's going to be Empoleon as a Sazop and the Escavalier in the back. This is a common team that we used actually in prior seasons of like Ultra League already, and it's going to be pretty decent in this cup as well. Having access to Superpower makes Dragonite a very good Pokemon for this meta, even though Dragon-type Pokemon don't really seem to shine that much in this one here, but with the Superpower it's a very decent pick to destroy some Steel types. The Sazop of Empoleon is a pretty safe Pokemon that can deal with a lot of Pokemon. Then we're going to have the Escavalier in the back here. You can use the Registeel instead of the Escavalier in the back as well, which would allow you to beat the Tapu Fini a little bit easier, but yeah, that's if you have it, of course. Let's go into the final team now as well. The final team going to be also having the Dragonite in the lead, and we're going to have the Sazop of the MEweedle with the new move Double Iron Bash, where this move is actually better than the other one. So like, this is going to be an interesting one to take a look at, because I already played this team. This team is amazing, and we're going to take a look at this team tomorrow as well. I can highly recommend it to you, and watch the video tomorrow to see how to play this team as well. We're going to have the Registeel in the back, which of course is a very big help for this one, but this team worked out really well for me, so if you want to have a good one to climb a little bit, this might be one for you. Otherwise, please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Those videos take always a ton of time to do, so this one is also a little bit late to my usual schedule. Hopefully tomorrow I'm back to my normal schedule in terms of video uploads. It's currently a little bit hectic with all the news coming up and all the content that takes a longer time to create. So, hope you enjoyed this one. See you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and bye!